We'll be discussing and demonstrating the use of shatter effect in Maya. So the shatter can be found in the effects menu in the effects module of Maya. We can look at effects here and then shatter. Okay, so I'm going to click the option box so that we'll see the different kinds of shatter. So there are three kinds of shatter effects: surface shatter, solid shatter, and crack shatter. So in the most common one is the solid shatter. So for you to visualize what solid shatter is, I'm going to create a polygon, a sphere, and then I'm just going to resize it so that you can see it clearly. One thing about creating the shatter effect is that you should always delete the history before applying the effect. Okay, so don't forget to delete the history of the object that you want to shatter. So selecting the object, I'll just reset the settings. So I won't be changing yet the options here, but take note of the shard count. So there will be 5 shards after this effect. So I'm going to click apply. As you can see in the outliner, there is this solid shatter 1 which is selected, and then there is the original p-sphere 1. So Maya by default duplicates the object, and then on the duplicate Maya will do the shatter effect. So we can hide this by pressing Ctrl H or Command H for Mac users. So, click this to change this to object mode, and you will see there are 5 counts, 5 pieces of the shattered object. So the resulting output is somehow very clean. There are very clean lines. It looks like apple slices. So what we're going to do is to modify the options. So if you want a shatter effect, of course we don't want these clean lines. What we want is more jagged edges. So we'll go into this option, edge jagginess. So I'm just going to delete this one, then unhide this object and add number of shard counts. If you just drag the slider, the maximum is 10, but actually you can override this. If you want, let's say 15, you can just type in the input box. And then the value for edge jagginess is between 0 to 1. It will be up to you depending on the animation requirement or the modeling requirement that is needed. You can choose to hide the original surface immediately here. So you can also delete it, but for this purpose, since I'm just going to demonstrate some options, probably be needing the original one. Okay, so click apply. Okay, so now we have a more jagged shards. Okay. So this is the result of that shatter effect. Now, since I used 15 shard counts, there are smaller bits and pieces of the object. Notice that there are yellow objects or yellow colored insides. These are the interior polygons. This sphere is actually hollow. When we create when we created the polygon sphere, the sphere is actually hollow. So in solid shatter, Maya creates an interior polygon. So the yellow part is the interior polygon. If you can see here in the option, we can actually remove the interior polygon. So to demonstrate that again, I'll probably reduce this to 10, and if I click remove interior polygon, the extrude shards will be enabled. I'll use, let's say, 0.5 and see the effect. Okay, so now there's no interior polygon, and I have a bit of a depth in terms of the shards. This is the extrude shard. So if you want it thicker, so you can just adjust this to a higher value. Okay. So that is solid shatter. It looks like eggshells. So if you see, the shattering effect is in random order. Okay? As long as Maya will have the number of shard counts, uh, the actual shattering is by random. Okay, but what if we want uh, an output that can be repeated? So I'll unhide this, delete the original one. If I want to have an output that will be shattered, but at the same time I can redo that, the exact one, I'll be using the seed value. So if this is 0, the output shall be random. If I'll make this 1, and I won't change the other the other values, click apply. So what we'll have is the first one, of course, this is still random, but let's say I'm content with this output and I want to duplicate, or I want to replicate this kind of shatter. Just remember the seed value. If I want to repeat that, I don't want a random output, I can modify, let's say, the jagginess, the shards. Let's say I'll make it more thicker, but using the same value. If I click apply, I will still have the same output. If you can see these two, they're the same. So I can replicate the output from the previous one, even though there's a change in the extrude chart, but still the randomness of the shattering effect will be copied. So as long as I use the same seed value, I can have the same result. Okay, so that is for solid shatter. The solid shatter is can be used for polygons that are closed. So the sphere is a closed surface. If you want to use the surface shatter, we can use solid. We can use open or closed surface for surface shatter. We can use a closed surface or an open surface. So what I'll do is to make this an open surface, I'll just delete some faces. So we can apply surface shatter on an open surface or a closed surface. So just I'll hide the original surface and click apply, and you'll see that the object has this open surface. It has been shattered into different pieces, into 5 count, to 5 shards. For a closed one, I'll do the same. I'll click apply, and then here is the result. So this looks more like an eggshell than the previous one. Okay. Seed value is the same with the solid shatter. You can also actually extrude the shards. So similar with the solid shatter. Let's try that. I'll delete these two and unhide this one. I'll give it 0.5 and then apply. So similar to solid shatter, but without the interior. Okay, so if you want this kind of effect, you can either use solid shatter or surface shatter, but in solid shatter you have to remove the interior polygon. The difference is in surface shatter we can do this kind of effect even in a open surface like a plane. Okay, so that's it for surface and solid shatter. Now for crack shatter, let me demonstrate this one. Crack shatter is for open surfaces, so we can't use a crack shatter on a closed sphere. So this is a semi-sphere, so we can modify some of these options. So a crack shatter, similar with surface shatter, but the difference is we can select a certain point, a vertex, where the shattering or the cracking will originate or will radiate from. So if I say I need a 10 cracks and higher jagginess, and then I'll hide the original one after. Make sure that you have selected vertex or vertices. So let's say, let's use this one as an example. So if you click apply, you'll see that Maya is computing. Maya is doing some cracking. Sorry, I should have uh, chosen a better camera angle. But you can see that Maya is computing, Maya is working around the object to create a crack shatter. Okay, so that's done. We'll see the output. So very similar with the surface shatter, but this time we can see where the crack originated. So it's here. The selected vertex is here. So you'll see that Maya cracked from this point until until it created the number of counts. Okay, so those are the different types of shatter effects in Maya. Experiment on the options, the different options. Okay, so thank you. I hope you learned something.